And we're live. Sweet. What's going on, everybody? So, we got some afternoon hockey today. Originally, I wasn't going to be doing this stream. This wasn't originally a game that I was going to be doing, but I saw bits and pieces of game one in this series, and it looked pretty good. So, Capitals Hurricanes this afternoon should be a fun game. I was impressed with the Hurricanes in game one, even though they ended up losing. Thought they played a pretty good game, a lot better than I expected them to. So we'll see what they do today in game two. Obviously the Capitals are expected to win this, and certainly expected to win on home ice, but we'll see. Yeah, Derek, the Lightning are the Lightning are not doing too well. Tampa Bay decided to not only blow game one, but not even show up for game two. So now they've got themselves in a nice little hole. And wouldn't that be something if Tampa Bay gets swept out in the first round by Columbus, who barely made the playoffs? Honestly, I'll go for Carolina in this one. I do have the Capitals winning this series, but I'd like to see Carolina win a game. So I'm going to root for Carolina in this one. And yeah, the Lightning tomorrow night will be without Nikita Kucherov, who's been suspended one game for a really stupid hit on Nudivara from Columbus. Just drove his head right into the boards for absolutely no reason. Nunivara was already down on the ice, and Kucherov, just obviously frustrated, just drove his head through the boards. So he's going to have to miss game three, which obviously he's the MVP of the league and the leading scorer. That's a huge loss for the Lightning, and they're going to have to win without him. No, I am. This is the only game I won't be ever streaming multiple games in one day, I don't think. This is the only game I'm doing today. So we'll see what Carolina looks like today, if they can come out with the same energy and same kind of effort level that they did in game one. Even though they ended up being down 3-0, coming back to make it 3-2 and eventually losing 4-2. I thought Carolina played a very good game one. And obviously, the Capitals are certainly the more talented and better team, more playoff experience by far. It's not even close. But I definitely think that Carolina can give them a series, especially if they can take this game. They can take game two, and win one in Washington, and they head back home tied 1-1. That's a really good position to be in if you're the lower seed. What's going on, Vaughn? Hi, Ronald. What's up, guys? Thanks for being here and watching. I don't know, Vaughn. I don't know. If they play anywhere close like they did in game one, they certainly won't. Maybe they'll get swept out. Who the hell knows? But they were downright atrocious in game one. So we'll see what Boston looks like tonight. They better come out with a lot more energy and a lot higher effort level tonight, or they'll be swept out before they even know what's happening. Yeah, Nick Backstrom had a tremendous first game for Washington. He really was one of the main catalysts for Washington winning Game 1. This a great performance from him, and offensively and defensively had the 2 goals. He's always great in his own end. One of the best defensive forwards in the league. Um, so for the Capitals, yes, they had a 3-0 lead. They did give Carolina 2 to come back, but I mean that was a very good Game 1 for Washington as well. I think both teams played good hockey, and that was a good game in Game 1. And we'll see if Carolina can move things a little, take things a little further and move things a little harder, and maybe steal a game. But obviously, yeah, Svechnikov had a great Game 1 for the Hurricanes, scoring both of their goals. 19 years old, so really coming up big on the big stage for Svechnikov, and they're going to need some more offense, though. Carolina is going to need some more offense if they're going to knock off, or not knock off necessarily, but beat the Capitals and win at least a couple of games. They're going to need some more offense, and just one guy can't do it. They need everybody contributing in some way. Yeah, I think Pittsburgh's about done. I mean I picked the Islanders before the playoffs started, and I'm honestly not at all surprised the way that series is gone. That it's going pretty much exactly how I expected it to. Now Pittsburgh has not lost at home yet, and the old saying is you're never in trouble in a playoff series until you lose on home ice. So the Islanders, I mean, they did their job. They won games 1 and 2 at home at Nassau Coliseum. They did what they were supposed to do. Now the question is going to be is can they go into Pittsburgh and do the same thing? If they can pull out, they only need to win one. They only need to win one of the next 2 games on the road. They go back to Nassau 3-1, then I think there's a good chance that series is over. Pittsburgh needs to win these next 2 games. Then if they tie this series up at 2, then you're starting over and it's a best of 3. So big game tomorrow for the Penguins. Pretty much a must win for the Penguins tomorrow. If you go down 3-0, especially against a team as good defensively as the Islanders, you're probably not going to come back from a 3-0 deficit. Yeah, it's that would be asking a lot to pull the reverse sweep, and it doesn't happen very often. So huge games for the Penguins coming up. Yeah, Vaughn, I was just talking about that. Kucherov's gone for 1 game for that boarding on Marcus Nudavara. So another blow to the Lightning, who already find themselves down 2-0 to Columbus. Lost both games on home ice. So pretty much the exact opposite of what people expected for the Lightning and Blue Jackets series so far. No, I am not streaming the Bruins game. This is the game I'm streaming today. And I'm not streaming the Bruins game. I will never stream more than one game in a day, and this is the game I'm doing. I'll tell you, I'm really excited. Game hasn't started yet. I don't have a beer today. The only drink I have here is this Minute Maid pink lemonade because the Bruins played like a bunch of pink princesses the other night. So that's a pretty accurate description of them to this point in the playoffs. And I'll tell you, the Providence Bruins weren't any better last night. So I'll tell you guys. First of all, last night when I got home from the hockey game last night. I got home in time for the start of Vegas and San Jose and watched that whole game. Went till like 1:30 in the morning here, but I watched it all, and that was a wild game in San Jose last night, and that series has been a lot of fun to watch. So actually, I think the most fun series to watch so far for me have been out west. It's been the Vegas and San Jose series, and um, it's been the Calgary and Colorado series, which game 2 is later tonight, and I'll certainly be watching that. That game 1 was really heated, and then obviously the Pittsburgh and New York series. I missed last night's game because I was at the Providence game, but game 1 of that was fun, and it looks like last night's game was good too. So no, the game hasn't started yet. It's an NBC game, so it's probably going to start not till like 3:20 or something like that. Probably got a few more minutes before puck drop here. I don't know. I'm starting to think the Leafs. I think I have no clue. I have no clue what Boston team is going to show up, or if a Boston team will even show up today. If they play like they did in game 1, they're going to be swept. They're going to get swept out if they play like they did in game 1 again. But if they, actually show up and want to play hockey, then the Bruins should win tonight. But I mean, I don't know. It depends on who shows up. Completely depends on who actually wants to put in an effort and play a playoff game, and who should have just stayed in the locker room like they did on Thursday night. But if the Leafs win tonight, that series is over. If the Maple Leafs win tonight, that series is all over. Boston doesn't have a chance and may get swept. Well, thank you, Midwest Sports. I appreciate it. We're getting closer to puck drop here, hopefully. But again, I think it will probably be 3:15, 3:20 before it actually gets underway. Typical NBC. Especially national TV games, they always start late. I don't know yet, Vaughn. What I do know is that after tomorrow's stream, I'm going to take a couple days off. So there won't be any streams definitely on Monday or Tuesday. I'm still going to be watching games, but I'm going to take a couple days off from streaming because that will be four streams in 5 days, and we're going to take a couple days off, and then probably Wednesday. So I think after tomorrow, the next stream will probably be Wednesday. Am I surprised Columbus is winning the series? Absolutely. I think most people had Tampa through that series in 4 or 5 games. A lot of people thought that the Lightning were just going to steamroll over the Blue Jackets, and Columbus might as well not even show up. And it's been the exact opposite. Tampa blows the 3-0 lead in game 1 to lose 4-3, and then Tampa was a team that got absolutely steamrolled in game 2. So it's a huge surprise that Columbus is up 2-0. It's the surprise of the playoffs. And it will be one of the biggest upsets we've seen in years if Columbus can win this series and pull off the win over the Lightning. The Lightning were President's Trophy winners, 62 game winners, over 120 points. And then for them to show up and play in the playoffs like this, it's a huge shock, and it's one of the bigger upsets we've seen in a long time. But we'll see if Columbus can pull it off. The thing that is stopping me from really just absolutely railing into the Lightning and giving this series to the Blue Jackets is the fact that just last year, Columbus had a 2-0 series lead on Washington, and then Washington came in and won 4 straight, starting with 2 wins in Columbus. Columbus could not hold home ice, and Washington ended up winning that series in 6. So there's Tampa is a good enough team to where there's no reason to think that they can't possibly do that, but they need to, get their heads out of their asses really quick if they're going to. And it's all going to start tomorrow night with a win in Game 3. I mean, if Tampa goes down 3-0, then that series is over. Absolutely over. All right. All right. Thanks for being here. Go Hurricanes. Go Leafs. Go. Yeah. Yep. Kucherov's gone for Game 3. For the stupid hit. Really dumb play by him. Oh, the Stars. I mean, Nashville's is my Stanley Cup pick. Obviously, that's not going well, but the Stars came into Nashville and did what they had to do to win Game 1. I think this is a really big game tonight for the Stars, and that game's on right after this one at 6 p.m. Eastern. If Nashville wins Game 2, and yes, the Stars have done what they had to do as the road team, which is go into Nashville and steal a game. They don't need both. They only need to go in and win one game when you're on the road in a playoff series, and that's what Dallas has done. But if Nashville can win tonight and maybe even win handily, then I think that kind of almost resets the series and will give Nashville their confidence back. But I think tonight's a big game. When you're the home team and you lose Game 1 on home ice, you automatically put all the pressure on yourselves in Game 2 because you cannot go down 2-0 and lose both games at home. Oh, that's going to be awesome. You're going to Game 4. Sweet. That's going to be awesome. Yeah, we'll see by Game 4 what the series is at. But I mean, Dallas did what they needed to do already in taking a game in Nashville. So now, even if Nashville wins tonight, I mean, for Nashville, it's really important for them to win. For Dallas, it really doesn't matter because they've already taken one on the road. Yeah, Ben Bishop has had a phenomenal season for the Dallas Stars. He's been healthy for a change, which is a huge benefit for Dallas, is to have Bishop actually not out for the season with some form of injury, and he's playing really, really well. And it seems to be continuing into the playoffs. How much is my cable? I have no idea. I live at home with my parents. I have no idea how much the cable bill is. Would I go to a Bruin playoff game? I mean, yeah, obviously. I wouldn't pay for the tickets full price, but I definitely would go. Absolutely. Honestly, at this point, I hope they do. I don't care about my bracket. Screw that. I really would. I really hope Columbus knocks off Tampa. That would be fantastic. I think that would just be awesome. And it would certainly have me laughing. That's for sure. And yes, that would screw up a lot of people's brackets. So many people have Tampa winning the Cup this year. I think just about everybody has Tampa at least getting past the first round. I think people started having Tampa lose in the second round, and then some have them losing in the conference final. But and a lot of people have them going all the way. But almost nobody had Tampa losing in the first round. So that'll be really, really funny if they get knocked out and lose this series. It'd be even funnier if they get swept. Do I know Zach Hampel? I don't know him personally. No, I know who he is. He's a foul ball guy, but I don't personally know him. No. Well, I think I think the East is kind of wide open anyway. Tampa was by no means a guarantee to get to the Stanley Cup. They're a team that consistently loses in the playoffs, and that reputation has been with them for a few years now. Tampa is a team that consistently loses in the playoffs, so I think the East is wide open anyway. But certainly with the big dog in Tampa out, then it certainly is an open race. But I think if Tampa is out, then I think Washington becomes your probably next favorite. So, oh yeah, Vaughn, that was great. That was back when everyone still thought Chicago was good. Um, and then they got swept out in the first round by Nashville, and then Chicago sucked ever since. But we're underway here. Action already, and we got a really good chance for Washington there. They don't score, though. And now the puck is covered by Mrazek in net. But Washington already on the attack with their top line, Wilson, Ovechkin, Backstrom, just driving the puck to the net. No, Andrei Vasilevsky has not been good in these playoffs, which is interesting because he was good last year in the playoffs. But no, certainly not looking like a Vezina candidate so far. So Washington still has the puck here. Now Carolina gets it out of the zone. Yeah, well, yeah, Bobrovsky has been better, and which is weird because Bobrovsky is a notoriously bad playoff goalie. Um, he's usually been horrible in the playoffs, but that's not the case so far this year. Good chance there for Carolina. The shot just gets deflected wide, though. And now Washington exits the zone. Yeah, I don't know who, I don't know who I would give the Vezina to because I don't think it's an open, I think there's a lot of people in the running this year. And I don't think I saw Ben Bishop play a single game this season. So I haven't actually seen him play. So, but I know his numbers are very good and he had a very, very good year for Dallas. Now Washington taking the puck out of their own zone. And they're just going back and regrouping here. Carolina hard on the forecheck. That's what they need to do. But now they get the puck out and in comes Washington. Nice little chance there for John Carlson. And Carolina's coming back the other way, 2-on-1. And Washington ends up getting back there and making a good defensive play. Carolina didn't even get a shot out of that. So this has been a pretty high-paced game to start. It's very back and forth. Chances going back and forth each way to start this game. We're only like 2.5 minutes in. Some good hits so far, and it's very, very lot of back and forth action. Washington's got the first line back out there, and somehow they must have just missed getting a stick on that. They just had a great chance to score. And now here comes Carolina, the chance of their own, and a big-time save there by Holtby. So this is just up and down the ice action both ways here. There's Ovechkin. Ovechkin just absolutely leveled one of the Hurricanes there. And now Washington gets the puck out. And Ovechkin scores. Or I don't know if Ovechkin scored that or if Backstrom got a tip on it, but it's 1-0 Washington. 1-0 Washington. Huge check by Ovechkin on Brett Pesce there. Absolutely buried him along the wall. And then he gets the puck and brings it in. And he rips the shot. Oh, beautiful tip. That's Backstrom's goal. Beautiful tip there by Nick Backstrom. Just puts his stick on the ice, and it goes right into the Carolina net on the tip. Beautiful, beautiful goal from Nick Backstrom there. So less than 5 minutes into the first period, and it's already 1-0 Washington. Carolina, though, in the offensive zone, just had a great chance. And they're already starting to show some pushback here. So Carolina with some sustained offensive zone pressure here, obviously trying to push back after that goal against. And that was gonna be offside, so now Washington gets the puck. So here comes Washington now into the zone again. Shot gets blocked, and Carolina with the exit. So we still have this kind of wide open feel to this game as both teams go up and down the ice. And now we have a penalty call. So Trevor Van Riemsdyk is going to the box here for Carolina. I have no idea what this penalty call is. It must have been way behind the play because I didn't see anything. Oh, that's a horrible call. That's a terrible call. That is a terrible, terrible call. So Washington goes to the power play on an absolute soft call right there. And Ovechkin with the bomb gets it blocked. Brock McGinn for Carolina just blocked that Ovechkin slap shot. That must have hurt. There's no way that felt good. And he quickly goes to the bench. Washington now gains possession in the offensive zone and has time to set up here. So the power play is set up. Obviously, they're going to be looking for Ovechkin at the top of the circle like they always do. We'll see if Carolina covers that. Good stick there through the middle. And a clear for Washington trying to bring it back into the zone. And now they're having trouble with zone entry and they have to regroup again. Absolute bomb there from whoever that Capital was on the half wall, but it goes wide of the net. We're down to 50 seconds left in Washington's power play. Here comes Verana bringing it into the zone, and he just turns it over to Hayden Fleury, but he tosses the puck out of play, and unless that hits something, that's going to be delay a game on Carolina unless that hit the glass on its way out. That must have hit glass on the way out because I don't think they're calling a penalty. Yeah, all right. So no delay game call on Carolina. It hit glass going out, but almost a 5-on-3 there for Washington. But Washington still on the power play with 30 seconds left. And Carolina does get the puck after a board battle and dump it down the ice. So that's pretty much going to end Washington's power play. Verano trying to pick a corner there from the side of the net. Came pretty close. And now the penalty is over. Out of the box is Van Riemsdyk, and we're back to five-a-side hockey. There's another bomb that goes wide from Washington. Now Justin Williams just brings the puck into the zone for Carolina as they try and set up their forecheck. And that's a whistle. I don't know what for. So first commercial break now. Capitals already up 1-0 on the goal from Nick Backstrom, his third of the series. We're only in game 2 here, and Backstrom's got 3 goals already. Great pass from Ovechkin to Backstrom to set up the goal. So Washington in control early. They've had the early power play. It's been a very wide open game to this point. A lot of chances back and forth. But the last few minutes, especially with the power play, Washington has taken over. And that's been that's good for them. Carolina here, they need to have some sort of pushback. Carolina's got to get something going offensively. They've had plenty of chances so far, although I don't think as good of quality of chances that Washington has had. But Carolina needs to get some sustained pressure offensively, and at least try and tie this game up. I think the next goal is huge because if you give Washington a 2-0 lead, as good as they are, that you don't want to be playing catch-up hockey like that against the Washington Capitals. So Carolina needs to make sure that they get the next goal and tie this game up. Otherwise, you're playing right into Washington's hand here to give them a 2-goal lead. All right, Derek, we'll see about that. Yeah, I think it would be fun. I think it would be funny seeing Columbus in 4. Ovechkin's thrown some big hits early. And when he's engaged physically, we all know he's at his best. That hit in the corner against Pesce was just fantastic. Absolutely buried him in the corner. Hey, what's going on, Rob? Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Welcome. All right, Derek, we'll see. My confidence in the Lightning is getting lower and lower with every passing day. So we'll see if they can pull off a comeback. But it's not looking good so far, as they've been really made to look silly by Columbus to this point. Yeah, I agree. I think if Washington wins this game and takes a 2-0 lead, then that's going to certainly put them in the driver's seat. I don't think it'll necessarily be a sweep, but I do think that it's probably a 5-game series if Washington wins this game. Jensen with the puck now behind Washington's net. They're trying to get the puck out, and Ovechkin finally does. Down 11:15 left in the first period. So we're almost half a period in here. It's been pretty wide open, but I think Washington has certainly carried the play so far. And that's offsides on the Capitals. With 11:02 remaining in the first. St. Louis in 6. Heck, it might even be quicker than 6, Rob. St. Louis with another big win last night in Winnipeg to go up 2-0. Um, the Blues look scary. I absolutely will say that the Blues look scary. That's a team that you might all of a sudden find in the conference final. They've won both games in Winnipeg. Now they're headed back home with a 2-0 series lead. The Jets, and it's not so much that the Jets have played bad. The Jets have they've been close games. They've been 1-goal games. They've been in the game. It's not like Tampa Bay or Boston where it's been the home team is playing really lousy and not showing up. And that's another goal for the Capitals. It's TJ Oshie with the goal, and it is now 2-0 Washington. I can't type. Wow. But yeah, the Blues are just really, really hot right now. They were really, really hot to end the season. Hey, Aaron, what's going on? And the Blues, are winning close games, and that if you do that in the playoffs, you will go far. So now Winnipeg needs to go into St. Louis and really needs to win both games. Otherwise, they're going to be down 3-1 and in a whole lot of trouble. So big goal for Oshie there, puts the Capitals up 2-0, and this is already not looking great for Carolina. You can't keep spotting Washington leads because you're not going to be able to come back. They almost came back in game one, just fell a little short. But if you keep giving Washington 2 or 3 goal leads in games over and over again, you're not going to win many of those games. So again, I said the next goal was really important. Washington got it. If Washington gets 3, that could virtually end this game. Hey, Don, what's going on? Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. So, wow, yeah, this crowd, too, is loud in Washington. That second goal just gave a huge boost to the Capitals and their fans in the arena. We'll see if Carolina has any sort of pushback here. I mean, Carolina hasn't been able to get anything going offensively, really. However, they are about to get a power play. Brett Connolly is going to the box for hooking, I believe. Carolina is about to go on the power play. So Oshie just puts the Caps up 2-0, and then the Capitals go and take a penalty. So this could be the breath of life that the Hurricanes need to get back in this game. This is it's way too early in the game to be calling this a must score power play. It's way too early for that. However, this is a big power play for the Hurricanes too. If they don't score, at least get some offensive chances and establish some zone time. Because if they don't, then the momentum's going to completely work the other way. It's going to be a huge kill for Washington, and Washington already has some momentum to begin with. So Carolina has got to show something on this power play. Otherwise, this might be a long night for the Hurricanes. Yes, Rob. Patrick Kane did have a career year this year. He was absolutely phenomenal for Chicago. The only issue is the rest of the team isn't very good. So, as we've seen plenty of times with teams throughout the NHL, most notably now Connor McDavid in Edmonton, one player or two players being really, really good does not mean the team is good, or does not mean that the team is going to the playoffs. Because much like McDavid and Draisaitl in Edmonton having 100-point seasons, the team is still a laughingstock and sucks. In Chicago, Patrick Kane has a tremendous year, a career year, but the team still sucks. So they called it interference on Brett Connolly here. Not hooking, but it could have been either, I think. But it was called interference. So Carolina now on the power play, and they are trying to get set up in the offensive zone. Washington with the clear, and now the break. Washington, actually, nice shot on goal there from Carl Hagelin, short-handed. So already the first, 25, 30 seconds of this power play is gone because Washington was able to quickly get the puck out, and Carolina has already blown a quarter of their power play. But they now have the puck in the zone. And the power play is officially set up with possession that they now just lost. And we'll see if Washington's able to clear it. They are to center ice. So Carolina now has to regroup in the neutral zone and try and get set up all again. Good penalty kill here so far from Washington, but now we got a chance here. Nice shot from the point for Carolina. The puck goes wide of the net, slams off the end boards, and is cleared by the Capitals. What's going on, Hockey and Life? Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I think a lot of people in Buffalo would love to see Patrick Kane retire as a Buffalo Sabre. I just don't see him leaving Chicago anytime soon. So final 15 seconds here, the power play for Carolina, and quite honestly, they haven't done much with it. So I think already in a down 2-0, you kind of needed something out of this power play. Carolina has not gotten it. It's a good scramble in front here. And they're really pushing towards. So Carolina, good little push at the end there, right at the end of the power play, and crashed the net hard, but Holtby was able to keep it out. Boston was an absolute disgrace in game one. It was an absolute embarrassment. Who do I want to win this game? Well, I don't want this series to be over in 4 games. So while I have Washington winning the series, I want Carolina to win this game. Although already down 2-0, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So Backstrom gets kicked out of the face-off dot there. So Tom Wilson comes in to take the face-off. And now Carolina's center gets kicked out. I can't tell who that was, but now Martinook's in to take it. Capitals quickly. That's going to be icing. Out of the zone, but it's icing. So right back down to the Washington end. Martin Jones was awful last night. Yes, I watched that. I watched that entire Vegas San Jose game. Martin Jones was awful last night. He only lasted 6 minutes before he was taken out. He was out of the net. He pulled really quick last night. Gave up 3 goals very, very early on. He looked bad. Will the Jackets go to the Stanley Cup final? Probably not. But they've had a great first 2 games, but we'll see. Yeah, NHL Studios, I kind of feel bad for you and your fellow Canes fans because, you go 10 years without making the playoffs, and then you finally get into the playoffs, but you have to play the defending Stanley Cup champion, and Washington seems to be handling Carolina pretty well so far. Well, if San Jose wants to win this series against Vegas, then Martin Jones needs to fix that real quick. you've got to, if you're trying to beat this team in the playoffs, I don't care how you are historically against that team. If you're the number one goalie, you better start acting like it. And he did not act like a number one goalie last night. 6 minutes into the game and you're pulled on home ice in a close playoff series. Yeah, Johnny, I see that I think that the number one thing with the Sharks that stopped me from picking them to be a Stanley Cup team is their goaltending. Martin Jones, to me, is not a goaltender that's going to win a Stanley Cup. He's a good goaltender. He is not one of the top goaltenders in the league, and I don't think he has it in him to will his team to a win and win a Stanley Cup. Hey, really? Nice. So have fun in North Carolina, and we'll see what the Hurricanes look like on home ice. So far in Washington, the Capitals have looked pretty good. So the Caps take it out here and dump it down. Shot attempts are actually tied 14-14, but I would say the Capitals have had the much better chances so far, and they also have the 2-0 lead. Hey, nope, I don't. Goaltending is a must-have to win a championship. I don't care how offensively powerful your team is. If you don't have goaltending, you ain't winning jack shit in the NHL playoffs. So I absolutely do not think that the Sharks can. I don't care if they have ever. I don't care if the Sharks have an all-star team as their lineup. If you don't have goaltending, you're not going to win. And Martin Jones is not the guy who's going to win a Stanley Cup for his team. He doesn't get the big save when they need it. And I don't think he has the. I don't think he has the needed fire to will your team to victory or to steal games in the playoffs. That's not who Martin Jones is. Because Martin Jones is not that great of a goaltender. He's a good goaltender. He is not a great goaltender. There are a lot of guys in the league I would take ahead of Martin Jones to be my starting goalie. No, this is the only game I'm streaming today. I will never stream multiple games in one day. Will the Sharks miss the playoffs next season? I don't think so. No, just because, I don't know who would take their playoff spot. I mean, the Kings stink, the Ducks stink, the Oilers stink. Arizona, if they were to get in, Arizona, if they were to get in, would be taking a wild card spot most likely. I don't think there's any way that the Sharks I don't think there's any way that the Sharks are going to miss the playoffs next year. They've got too much talent for that. Tomorrow I am streaming Pittsburgh and New York at noontime. It's on NBC in the U.S. I don't know what it's on in Canada, but it's the afternoon game tomorrow. Pittsburgh Penguins, New York Islanders in Pittsburgh. Pretty much a must-win for the Penguins tomorrow. On home ice, they're already down 2-0 in the series. They basically, they have to win tomorrow. You can't go down 3-0 to the Islanders and expect to reverse sweep them and come back. It's not going to happen. So Pittsburgh knows that, the situation they're in. And there's a goal for Carolina. Lucas Walmart for Carolina makes it 2-1. Holtby got caught behind the net and then couldn't. Carolina scores to make it 2-1. Holtby, I don't know. He was. I don't know really what he was doing there. He's out of his crease. He's not looking at the puck. The Holtby looks like he spun on purpose. He didn't spin. He did. There was a little bit of contact, but there was no reason for him to spin on that. He didn't get hit hard enough to spin around. That was him literally trying to draw a call. He barely got touched, and then he chooses to do that stupid spin move. And while he was spinning around, the puck goes in the net because he wasn't paying attention. There's no way that that contact was hard enough to actually itself spin Braden Holtby around. He felt the contact and decided himself to do that stupid spin thing. And while he was spinning in La La Land, the puck goes in the net. That is a complete sell job by Braden Holtby. That's a complete sell job by Braden Holtby. That goal deserves to count just to because Holtby had no business, and they call it a goal. Thank you. All right, so the goal stands. It's 2-1. Carolina gets one back. They just reviewed it, and it's a good goal, and it should be a good goal. That was a complete sell job by Braden Holtby. There was no reason for him to spin around on that. So here comes Washington now through the neutral zone. Nick Backstrom, he's off to a great start this series. Nice save from Mrazek there. Well, Ovechkin just leveled somebody way up high. No, well, I certainly hope the Penguins don't come back, but no, I don't think they are. All the Islanders have to do is go into Pittsburgh and take one game. That should be pretty. They should be able to do that. Tomorrow's game is absolutely huge. It's a must-win game tomorrow for the Penguins. If they go down 3-0, that series is over. And I don't see them coming back. Penguins aren't that good this year. I've been saying it all year. Penguins fans don't seem to get that. A lot of them are way too high on their team this year. I've been saying all year that the Penguins aren't that good this year. And I think they're going to be out in the first round. I picked the Islanders in 6. And heck, it might even be Islanders in 5. So Ovechkin hits Brock McGinn in the head down in the corner. So Carolina's going back on the power play here with a chance to tie the game. 3.5 minutes left in the first period. About 2 minutes on this power play. So big chance here for Carolina as Washington gets another shorthanded opportunity there, where the shot goes over the net from Carl Hagelin. Not really. The Islanders aren't an expansion team. I don't know how they would be the Vegas of last year. They're not an expansion team. I mean, I guess it's similar in the fact that they had very low expectations coming into this season. But so I guess in a way they are like Vegas, but I think Vegas was certainly a bigger surprise. Islanders, very well coached team, very good defensive team. A lot of underrated talent up front. Anders Lee is a heck of a player. Matt Barzal is incredible. Jordan Eberle having a phenomenal playoffs. Great chance there for Carolina. Just can't get the puck in the net. Still got possession in the offensive zone here. Another chance, and that was Teravainen. Big save by Holtby. Teravainen, another shot and a save by Holtby. So this has been a great power play for Carolina. They've done everything except score. Much better than their first one, that's for sure. And the puck is finally cleared by Washington. So 10 seconds remaining on the power play. This is pretty much it. They're not even going to get the puck back. And that clears it, and that does it. So Washington survives there. Very, very good power play, though, for the Hurricanes. They did everything but score. They had some great chances. Now with 1 minute and 15 seconds left in the period, Carolina takes the puck away. Onside, apparently. Nice hit there. Another nice hit. Carolina with possession now in the offensive zone. They've had a good surge here since that goal. Since they scored their first goal, they've had a really good surge here. A huge pad save by Holtby there. That was really close. And now the puck comes out of the zone. The defenseman couldn't hold it in. Dump in here for Carolina as they set up the forecheck again, but Washington just ices it down the ice. And with 30 seconds left in the period, the faceoff's coming back to Washington's end. So Carolina with a really, really good last 5 minutes of the period here. Ever since they scored that first goal, they've been surging. And Holtby has done a tremendous job to keep this game a 2-1 Capitals lead. Can Vancouver challenge for a wild card? Yeah, they can challenge for it. I don't think they'll get it, but they certainly can be in the mix for it without a doubt. Washington now with the puck regrouping in the neutral in their own zone, and I think they're just going to kind of wind out the clock here. They're happy going to the intermission with a lead. And for Carolina, this has been a very, very good end to the first period that started out very, very not good. So that's the end of the first period. We had 2-1 Washington. End of the first. All Washington early. Carolina with a really good push late. And overall, I think that was a pretty good period of hockey. So that's the end of the first period. And we are here with Washington at 2, Carolina at 1. So let's get caught up in the chat here. Yeah, I think Barry Trotz has been a lot better for the team than John Tavares, certainly. Yeah, the Islanders, they're only playing round 1 at the Coliseum. They'll go back to Barclays, I believe, for any subsequent playoff rounds that they're in, which absolutely sucks. Absolutely sucks. I really wish they would just stay at Nassau. The NHL does not belong at Barclays Center at all. It's a horrible NHL arena. And I just it's the Islanders need to be back on Long Island. They should not be in Brooklyn. That was a complete fail by the NHL to move them to Brooklyn. It's just stupid. And they need to go back to Long Island. They should be playing at Nassau Coliseum until the new arena at Belmont Park is built. No more Barclays, but unfortunately, the NHL won't pull the trigger on that and completely move them back all the time. Now this season they split games. They're playing round 1 at Nassau, and then subsequent rounds will be played at Barclays. It's just stupid. The Islanders need to go back to the island and stay there. Yeah, Barclays is an NBA arena, not NHL. It's horrible for hockey. Yeah, if it's Islanders and Capitals in the second round, that will be a very, very good series to watch, without a doubt. I will be excited about that one for sure. All right, hang on, guys. I'm going to move the computer up here while we're at intermission and give it a chance to cool off a little bit. Um, so overall, I think that was a pretty good period of hockey. Carolina, didn't start off well, but they really had a good push the second half of that period and ended up, getting it back to a 1-goal game. They had that good power play at the end of the period. So Carolina, I think, has a lot that they can build off of going into the second. And for Washington, I mean, you can never complain when you come out of a period in the playoffs with a lead. So that they're winning the game right now. They got the 2 goals early. So far, they've weathered Carolina's storm for the most part. So overall, I think both teams have things to be happy about in that period. I think both teams have things that they want to work on. I think it was a good period of hockey and a fun period to watch. Tampa Bay, I really hope Tampa Bay just loses now. That would be so funny. Um, to absolutely, it's one thing to lose game one, but then to get blown out in game two, that's just an absolute embarrassment. Um, I'm laughing at Tampa Bay. That's my thoughts on Tampa Bay right now. I am laughing at Tampa Bay, and it will be really funny if they lose this series. And I think it'll be even funnier and even better if they get swept. Yeah, Kucherov had this suspension coming. It was an idiotic play from Kucherov. I'm not surprised he got suspended. The guy was down on the ice. Nunavara was down on the ice, and everyone, there's just especially in a 5-goal or 5-1 game, there's no reason to do what Kucherov did, and Kucherov just drives his head into the boards. There was no need for it, and it was a really dumb play by Kucherov, and I'm not surprised that he got suspended. It was just a needless and really dumb play. Yeah, the car down in the corner at Barclays, where you would have A+ seats for a hockey game, but you can't sit there because there's a freaking car in the way. Like, it's so stupid at Barclays, so stupid. I don't. I certainly don't have the Sharks winning the cup. Martin Jones is not a Stanley Cup winning goaltender, not at all. My favorite team is the Boston Bruins. I'm from Massachusetts, so that's my team. See what they look like tonight. After are they going to pull a Tampa Bay, or are they actually going to show up for the second game? So while we're on commercial here, I'll just quickly say that if you're not yet a subscriber to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. Also, if you're enjoying this stream, give it a thumbs up. I do hockey content year-round on topics from across the league. I do recorded content. I do live streams like this. So if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. Thank you. That really helps out. Um, and we're streaming again tomorrow afternoon for the Pittsburgh and New York game. So that should be a fun one, I hope. We'll see. But that series so far has been really. I didn't get to see the game last night. I saw the highlights. It looked like a good game. It looked certainly like a heated game, which is perfect, exactly what you want in the playoffs. Um, um, and I know that game one, I streamed and watched game one, and game one was really fun and a really good game to watch. So I'm excited to watch game three tomorrow because I think that's been a great series so far. And also, I've out west, the Vegas and San Jose series has been very, very good, and the Calgary and Colorado series. Game two is tonight. We've only had one game of that, but it got really, really heated at the end of game one between Calgary and Colorado. So that is one of my top series to watch right now because I think both of those teams have some guys who can really get after it if they need to, and I would not be surprised to see some gloves dropped in that series. And I will certainly be watching when that happens. That's one of my favorite parts. So if it's a heated, nasty series and there's gloves getting dropped and people fighting, I'm going to be watching. So Calgary and Colorado will be a good one tonight. We'll see if Colorado can get any sort of offense going in Calgary. They got shut out in game one. Mike Smith was spectacular for the Flames, and we'll see what game two looks like tonight. Yeah, Stamkos with a disappearing act in the playoffs. Kucherov literally with a disappearing act because he won't be playing game three. Um, see, I think it might be a little early the Leafs have only won one game. They are not in as good of shape yet as Columbus. Columbus has taken both games in Tampa Bay. The Leafs need to win game two and take both in Boston to be in just as good of shape. They've only won one, so it's not that series is far from over. Um, yeah, if something's at a game seven, I'll be doing everything I can to stream during that game for sure, especially if it's Boston. Islanders are not breaking my bracket. I picked the Islanders to win. I actually picked the Islanders to go to the conference final. So I'm very happy with how the Islanders have looked so far, and I'm honestly not surprised. A lot of people pick Pittsburgh. I don't know why. I think the Islanders are the better team this year. Would I burn Barclays Center into fire? I mean, if it meant there would never be a hockey game played there again, then yes, because that arena should never see hockey ever again. It never should have in the first place. No, not at this point. I hope Tampa loses. I want Tampa to lose at this point. I think it'll be hilarious if they lose to in the first round to the team that barely made the playoffs in the East. Even better if they get swept. Even better if they get swept. I will be rolling on the floor laughing when Tampa Bay, if they get swept out by Columbus in the first round after 62 wins in the regular season. Just shows you the regular season means absolutely nothing come playoff time. Absolutely nothing. These stupid long intermissions. I'm gonna switch over and watch some golf at intermission here. Hey, Tiger's still doing good at -8. Nice. Beautiful drive there. Who do I want to win the cup if Boston doesn't? Well, I picked Nashville to win it in my bracket, so Nashville, I guess, would be my next team. Yeah, I would love to see the Predators win a Stanley Cup. That city has been great. That team for the last few years has been really, really good. Um, Honestly, yeah. It's very, very possible for St. Louis to win it this year. That is it. They are a lightning, or they are a white hot team right now. Played so good the second half of the season after it being so bad in the first half, and it looks like they're going to get by Winnipeg. So if we get, it's either going to be them against Dallas or um, Nashville in the second round. That will be a heck of a series. Um, I, but yeah, St. Louis has looked fantastic, and Jordan Bennington continues to amaze. Yeah, if Tampa gets swept, maybe I'll record myself rolling on the floor laughing at Tampa Bay's misery. Well, the Islanders learned how to play defense this year. That's the difference. Last year they were the worst defensive team in the league. This year they were the best defensive team in the league. That's your difference with the Islanders. And that shows you that, when you play defense, you do good things. You can go to the playoffs and you can win playoff series if you play defense. And if you don't play defense, it really doesn't matter how many goals you score. It's hard to win games if you don't play defense. It's tough to tell. I've only seen about like a minute or two of golf, so it's tough to say how it is. I mean, it's the Masters, so obviously it's the biggest tournament in all of golf. And Tiger's doing well, so that's good. Nice to see him near the top of the leaderboard. He's tied for fourth at 8 under, 2 shots off the lead right now. My boy Ricky, they just showed Ricky. I don't know what his score is right now. I know he wasn't anywhere near the lead last I checked. Wow, Xander Schauffele's at -9. Nice. He's another guy I really like. And he's got a birdie putt here. Let's see if he can tie for the lead. Come on, Xander. Nope, just broke a little too much. All right, so Schauffele's going to stay tied for second at -9. Finau, the leader. Oh, Tony Finau is leading the Masters. That is awesome. And that's a pretty nice shot onto the green there. Okay. Yeah, it's rolling away on him. It's going to be a long putt. We'll see. What do I think the Carolina series will be? I'm pretty sure I said Washington in 5. I forget now. I know I had Washington winning, obviously, but I forget the number of games I picked. I think it was Washington in 5, though. Um, yeah, see, Nashville, I'd be good with Nashville or the Blues winning. That I'd be fine with that. Um, Robin Leonard is better than Thomas Greiss, at least this year for sure. Leonard's been incredible this year, and there's a reason he's a starting goalie. Oh, Jason Day just dropped a shot. He's going back to 7 under. All right, let's see if hockey's back. Nope, not yet. Leonard does have a Vesna a Vesna argument in his favor for sure. He had a phenomenal year this year for the Islanders. Best goaltending the Islanders have gotten in a long, long time. That's for sure. Gabriel, that's the importance of having a good team in front of you. That shows you what it, now we know how good Robin Leonard can be when he has an actual good team in front of him, unlike in Buffalo. Buffalo is just, no goaltender is going to play good with that garbage team in front of them. It's not going to happen. I don't care how good of a goalie they are. So there was zero chance of Leonard playing this good in Buffalo. There's no chance of anyone playing that good in Buffalo because the team in front of them stinks. When you actually get a good team in front of you, it does a lot for goaltenders. Do I like Dustin Johnson? I would say indifferent. He's definitely not one of my top favorites, but I don't hate him or anything either. I don't dislike him. Kind of indifferent on DJ. So hopefully we should be back for the second period pretty soon here. So Tony Finau pars 14 to stay at 10 under. So Xander and Webb Simpson are tied at 9 under for second, and then Tiger and a bunch of others are at 8 under. So really good Masters this year. Really good leaderboard, and everything's still close. So that's going to make for a really interesting Sunday tomorrow. When will Buffalo be back in the playoffs? I think they need to. As we're back for the second period here, I'm going to move the computer back. Buffalo needs to get some defense before they're back in the playoffs. Their defense is still a problem. And I think they need better scoring depth. Buffalo, I still think, is a couple years away. When will the Penguins miss? Probably not anytime in the next couple of years. They haven't regressed that much to that point. So probably not anytime soon for the Penguins missing. But you never know. Weirder things have happened. So we're underway here in the second. Washington still obviously has a 2-1 lead. We'll see if excuse me. We'll see if the end of the period surge for Carolina continues, or if intermission there kind of killed the momentum and Washington comes back and starts to dominate again. That's going to be hooking. That's hooking on Carolina. Yep. That's a hooking penalty on Michael Furlan, trying to take the puck away from Nick Jensen there, and he did get the puck away, but he also got called for the penalty. So the Capitals are going on an early power play here, and they have the chance to re-extend the lead to 2 goals. Yeah, Vaughn, the Penguins have made the. When's the last time Pittsburgh has missed the playoffs? I bet you it's been a long time. I can't remember off the top of my head the last time Pittsburgh missed the playoffs. TTC, see you later, man. It's 2-1 Washington still. Almost 3-1 there on Ovechkin's shot. But see you soon, and thanks for watching. So Carolina gets a clear after that great chance for Ovechkin, but now Washington is coming back, trying to bring it into the zone, but they cannot. Oof. So no zone entry there for the Capitals, and now down to a minute 20 left on the power play. 2006. Okay, I figured it would be around 2005 or 2006 would be the last time. So, are the Penguins still a contender? I mean, not for. It's hard to call them not, but I really don't see them. No, I don't think they have Stanley Cup in them. Not at least this year. Well, I don't know what they're going to look like in the future as far as a roster and changes and stuff. But I this year I don't see them getting anywhere near the Stanley Cup. They're a playoff team for sure, but definitely I don't see them as a cup favorite. Hard not to call them a contender because honestly, when you get to the playoffs, almost everybody is a contender in some way. But there's they're not as good as they used to be. That's for sure. Am I watching the Bruins game? Yeah, I'm going to be later. I yeah, I'm not streaming, but I'm gonna watch it. Yeah. And that's it. That's the end of the power play for Washington. So Carolina kills it off and gets the puck out of the zone here. So good early kill for Carolina. Keeps this a 1-goal game. Now here come the Hurricanes 3-on-2 back the other way, but Brock McGinn can't make the pass, and it ends up going back to Washington. McGinn had two guys with him, but he just could not get a pass. Oh, huge save from Mrazek there. That just got that wedged under the arm. That almost went in for Brett Connolly. Huge save from Mrazek. Bad turnover from Justin Falk. And Peter Mrazek bails him out. Drink some Nesty. Oh, okay. You do that, man. So Vaughn, you think the Penguins will miss in 2022? So that is, we have 2020, 20. So that's 3 playoffs from now. Very possible by then. We don't know what the team will look like that far down the road, but very possible for sure. Ferland just absolutely destroyed one of the Capitals there. I didn't see who it was that got hit. Is Dowd. Ferland just destroys them. Wow, Ferland caught him with his head down and absolutely leveled him. Now, it's definitely a penalty coming on Ferland there. He caught, yeah, Dowd's going to the locker room. He's got to go get checked out. Ferland caught him kind of crouched down and reaching and just absolutely annihilated him. Well, Ferland's gone for the game, and Rod Brendamore is pissed. I don't agree with that. That's a garbage call. That was a big hit, but that was not anywhere near a major. That's a garbage call. Rod Brendamore is pissed, and I don't blame him. That's an absolute garbage call that basically gives this game to Washington, because now Washington gets a 5-minute power play here. Guaranteed they're going to score at least one on it, pretty much. That's a terrible call. That's an absolute garbage call. So now Washington with the 5-minute power play here. This is basically handing them the game. We'll see how many they score on it. If Carolina is somehow able to not give up a goal on this, then that's going to be a huge win for them. And already a couple of quick clears for the Hurricanes early. Now Washington's into the offensive zone where they're set up. Nice block. Ovechkin with a bomb, blocked again. Washington still has the puck in the offensive zone now after a board battle. No, Vaughn, this isn't the NBA. The NBA is absolutely rigged, but no, I don't think this is. But still, back into the offensive zone here. Down to 3 minutes left on this power play. Washington is now finally set up again in the offensive zone. Nice save there from Mrazek. But Lars Eller retains possession for Washington. Orlov quarterbacking the power play here. I'll tell you, this has been a very, very good penalty kill so far for the Hurricanes. They're not giving up any sort of high quality chances to Washington. Washington continues to have possession though, so they're always dangerous. Oh, that just rocketed wide. Final 2 minutes now, so they've killed off the first 3 minutes of this terrible power play. That was an awful call from the officials. And that puck clears. The Capitals just flat out misplayed the puck. And another big save there from Mrazek, fairly easy one. And so far, this has been a tremendous, tremendous penalty kill for Carolina. Under 2 minutes now, so they only have to kill off what would be a normal penalty. I don't know, Vaughn. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, there's so much money involved, maybe, but I have no idea. That goes above my pay grade. So here's Washington still with possession. And that goes off the mask of Mrazek, and I think knocks his helmet right off. Wow, that was an absolute bomb from the point, and Mrazek takes it right in the mask. Knocked his helmet right off of him. You don't see that happen too often anymore. Carlson just lays into that shot, and it hits him square in the head. Yeah, he turned away at the last second and ended up hitting him on the side of the head in the on the jaw area rather than taking it straight up. That could not have felt good. I don't care how good the goalie masks are nowadays. That probably hurt a little bit. But he looks like he's up and ready to go. That was a rocket of a shot. Down to the final minute and a half here of the power play. Great job killing so far for Carolina, but Washington still has the puck and are always dangerous. So got to maintain this penalty kill for another minute and 15. Ovechkin with another one-timer from his usual spot that gets blocked. That's the third time that I can think of off the top of my head of his one-timer getting blocked. And then a huge save by Mrazek on a breakaway. And now TJ Oshie just took a tripping call. So that's the end of the power play. Oshie takes the tripping penalty, sweeps the Carolina player's legs out with his skate and gets called for tripping. And Backstrom was the guy with the breakaway for Washington. Nice pad save there from Peter Mrazek. Tell you, big momentum swing here for Carolina, killing off the 5-minute major. And now, once, in 51 seconds, when their penalty is up, they'll have an abbreviated power play, and that could completely switch this game the other way. Tom Wilson almost came back door there, but Carolina was able to get back defensively. Now Carolina brings it into the offensive zone. And Washington's now able to exit. So back and forth action, 4-on-4 here. And another nice save from Mrazek. 9 seconds left on the 4-on-4, and then Carolina will have about a minute and 10-second power play when their penalty is over. So a lot of pace to this game. It's a lot of back and forth action, chances going both ways, And we still have a 1-goal game, so this is still one that could certainly go either way. This has been a fun one so far. It's too bad that the refs had to make that terrible call on Carolina to give Washington the 5-minute power play. But it seems like Carolina's been able to. Well, Carolina has killed it off, and it seems like they've held strong through that, and they have a chance now to really shift momentum with a power play of their own. Peter Mrazek has had a spectacular game. So Nick Dowd's already back for Washington. I guess you don't have to go to the quiet room for 15 minutes anymore, because it definitely hasn't been 15 minutes since he took that hit. But he's back already, and we have 9 seconds. We have 9 seconds left on the 4-on-4. Another great save from Mrazek. 2-1, and now there's going to be another penalty on Washington here for high sticking. Dowd gets the penalty as Dougie Hamilton just took a stick right to the teeth. And this is going to be 1 minute and 7 seconds of 5-on-3 for Carolina. So, boy, does this change things quickly. Five-on-3 for over a minute. Yes, Vaughn, absolutely. I love John Tortorella. I think he's great. Very old school, in your face coach, and I love John Tortorella, so absolutely would. So this is a huge chance now for Carolina to tie this game. 5-on-3 for over a minute. You've got to do something with that, especially if you're going to beat a team as good as the Capitals. You don't get many opportunities this good. You've got to take advantage of them. They already quickly got a shot on goal from Justin Williams, but Holtby makes the save and the puck deflects out of play. But that was a very quick shot and kind of took everyone by surprise, I think. Holtby holds the post, though. And Washington wins the face-off, but can't clear. And now finally does clear after a little board battle there from Backstrom. So Carolina now, their focus needs to be to get set up. They've got to get set up here. Orpik just buried a Hurricane behind the net. And Carolina now is fully set up in the 5-on-3. Nice save by Holtby. Another save by Holtby and a clear by Washington. So down to the final 25 seconds here. Mrazek quickly moves the puck up, knowing that the 5-on-3 time is limited now. Two big held in. Teravainen holds the puck in. Two big saves from Holtby there. But the 5-on-3 is about to come to an end. Only 5 seconds left. If I'm Carolina here, you got to get the puck to the net. Just rip a shot. Get it to the net. Oh, he just fanned on a chance in the slot. Here comes Oshie out of the box, back the other way. He's able to get the puck out, but then he turns it over, tries to be too cute in the neutral zone, and the play's offsides. Oshie got way too cute in the neutral zone there, trying to dance around 3 different guys instead of just getting the puck deep. And he actually turned it over, but then Carolina comes back in offsides, and that's a mistake there for the Hurricanes. But still 34 seconds left of 5-on-4 action. Hey, what's going on? Let's talk sports. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. So, 9 minutes remaining in the second period. We're more than halfway through this game. Only 15 seconds left on the power play for Carolina. And it looks like power plays for both teams are going to come up empty. The 5 minute power play for Washington that they didn't score on, and then a 5-on-3 and 5-on-4 opportunity for Carolina that they don't score on, as that is now over. Tom Wilson muscles the puck away from Svechnikov, and here comes Washington back the other way. And now another penalty call as Dougie Hamilton is going to the box for elbowing. So this period has been all special teams for the most part. Power plays for both ways, and Washington's going to get another one. They're going back on the power play here as the game goes to commercial. So, wow. This has been the period of special teams so far, and so far the penalty kills for both teams have been winning the battle. So what an action-packed game so far. Wild back and forth action. A lot of great chances for both teams. A lot of huge saves by both goaltenders. Some very poor penalty calls, some very good penalty calls. A lot of big hits. A lot of stuff going on behind the play. This has been a pretty wild game so far. And all in all, it's still 2-1 Washington, which it has been for since the first period. Well, I'm hoping Carolina is able to win this game and pull this game out. Overall, though, I do think Washington wins the series. Another almost big shot there. Ovechkin kind of flubbed that last shot, but now what? He definitely didn't flub that one. I believe that got blocked as well. So that's block number 4 on an Ovechkin slap shot for Carolina, and they know where he's going to be shooting from. They are getting in the lanes. But one of the Carolina defenders does not have a stick, so it's basically 5-on-3.5 here. And it's a period of the long change as well, second period. So it's a long way to the bench for him to get off. So we'll see if Carolina's penalty kill can come up strong again as that puck gets deflected out of play by the Washington player in front of the net, meaning the faceoff comes outside the zone. So here's the elbowing call on Dougie Hamilton, which is definitely the right call. He went in with his arm up like this and caught Kuznetsov right in the head. So that's certainly worthy of a elbowing call for sure. The Ferland hit, though, should not have been a penalty. That was just a big hit, and Dowd got caught. Reaching and down low, and that's not Michael Ferland's problem. That was the wrong call. That call right there was the right one. would I go? Would I go bald like Pierre Maguire? No, probably not. I don't think that would be a good look at all. So here's now Ovechkin bringing it in, driving the net. Different kind of approach there for Ovechkin. He didn't just shoot it; he drove the net, but he ended up getting the puck taken away, and then Carolina just had a great chance. Now Washington's coming back the other way again. Chances for both sides, but no one's scoring this period. Lots of great goaltending as well. A lot of missed nets and great goaltending. And now that does it for Washington's power play. So Carolina kills off another one, and it's still 2-1. As Washington's power play is really failing them in this one. They've had more than enough chances to extend this lead on the power play, and they haven't been able to do it. So 6 minutes left now in the second period, and that was a bad play there by Washington to bring it out of the zone, and they have to regroup in their own end now. So yeah, I get the feeling that Carolina will be very, very happy if they can just survive this period and come out of this still with a 2-1 game. So now Washington brings it into the zone. The defenseman there completely flubbed the shot. Might have broken his stick. I couldn't tell. But it ended up turning into a knuckle puck and almost really caused some problems for Carolina. But Carolina was able to clear. 5 minutes remaining. Final 5 minutes now of the second period. And that's going to be icing on the Hurricanes as Washington wins the race. And so offensive zone faceoff coming up here for the Capitals as Carolina ices it. Still, high-paced game. A lot of action, high-paced, big hits. And still 2-1. No scoring this period. Yes, Todd McClellan was originally talking to Buffalo, but they could not come to an agreement on a deal, and Buffalo has already moved on. So it appears that Todd McClellan is likely to be the LA Kings head coach next year. So I guess he likes coaching in the Pacific Division. Goes from San Jose to Edmonton to now potentially LA. I guess he likes staying out west in the Pacific Division. So Carolina on the forecheck here. Washington does get the puck out though, and now that's offsides. So yeah, it will be I don't think Todd McClellan's going to be able to do much with the Kings. They're a team that is severely lacking talent. They rely too heavily on older players who, at one time were very, very good players in the league, but I think have started to take a step back. I mean, Jeff Carter is a shell of his former self. Dustin Brown is not the player he was when LA was winning Stanley Cups. Anze Kopitar is starting to get up there in age. There's not a lot of young talent there. Obviously, they still have Drew Doughty. They still have Jonathan Quick in net. But LA is not a team that I'm looking at to be good really in the next couple of years. I just don't think so. I think there's a lot of things missing with the Kings, and it excuse me, it's probably going to take a real rebuild for them to get back to being a high level team in the NHL. I am not a Michel Therrien fan at all. I didn't like him in Pittsburgh. I hated him in Montreal because obviously he was the Canadiens coach. I am not a Michel Therrien fan at all, but it's going to be interesting to see because Buffalo obviously now Quenneville went to Florida, that he's not an option. They tried McClellan and couldn't come to an agreement, so he's not an option. He's going to LA, as we've been talking about. So there, who's left on the coaching market for Buffalo? It's going to be interesting to see who they do pick to be their coach. So Carolina wins the faceoff here and tries to dump it into the zone. They do get it into the zone where it hits the linesman. And that turns into a grade A opportunity for Carolina after a couple of quick passes and another huge save from Braden Holtby. Both goaltenders have been absolutely spectacular today. Mrazek for Carolina and Holtby for Washington they've had A+ games so far. Hey, what's going on, Card Collector? Thanks for stopping in. Nice. How'd your stream go, man? And that shot goes wide. And that's a goal! They bank it in. The shot goes off the end glass from the point, and Sebastian Aho banks it in off the back of Braden Holtby. We have a 2-2 tie game. Wow. That's the goal that Carolina needed, and the puck goes off the end glass. Aho just throws it towards the net, and it banks off the back of Braden Holtby's glove or pad and goes into the net. So he scores from basically almost behind the net, not quite behind the net, but almost behind the net, and banks it in off the back of Holtby, and Carolina ties the game up. That is huge. And Jordan Staal just had a nice chance there to feed someone in the slot, but the pass got deflected. So Sebastian Aho gets on the board. That's a big goal for him, and a big pad save there from Mrazek. And I'll tell you, Carolina here, if they can get another one, could really be, get a strong push going. They ended the first period with a really strong push. We'll see if they can do the same in the second. And that is icing on Washington. So with 2:26 remaining in the second period, Carolina just ties the game up 2-2, and now they're going to get an offensive zone faceoff after an icing. Big opportunity here. Vaughn, I think that should be up to Daryl Sutter. If I was Daryl Sutter, why would I want to? I mean, I've won Stanley Cups. I've won a ton of games. I'm an NHL legend. Part of one of the greatest families in NHL history with the Sutters. Well, why would he come back? If he wants to, though, I definitely think that there would be a job out there for him because he's a great coach. And I certainly think that there are teams that would hire him. If I were him, I wouldn't want to come back. I would be perfectly fine being retired. He's certainly made plenty of money, been a very successful coach, was a good NHL player. Just retire and live the life that you want to live at that point, honestly. So Carolina now brings the puck into the zone. Washington, though, able to take it back and ultimately clear. And now they come back 3-on-3 as they're looking to maybe take the lead back before the end of this period. A quick turnover, though, leads Carolina out of the zone. And then once again, like this game mostly has been, back and forth action as Washington gets the puck and gets a quick re-entry. And now Carolina goes back the other way. So very, very back and forth game so far today. As we creep down towards the final minute of the second period. No sustained pressure for either team as it just kind of goes, and that's offsides. Yeah, John Carlson brought that back in. No real sustained pressure for either of these teams. It's been very back and forth. Come down to get a chance, puck goes back the other way. They go down, they get a chance, puck goes back the other way. Very, very very back and forth game now with 50 seconds left. Am I ready for the Boston game tonight? I am very nervous about the Boston game tonight. So final 30 seconds here. Nice save there from Holtby, and Washington carries it out of the zone now. Washington clearly trying to get the lead back before the end of this period, but the shot there goes wide from Verana. 13 seconds left. Well, we'll see what Pittsburgh does tomorrow. Tomorrow is virtually a must-win game for Pittsburgh. If they go down 3-0 to the Islanders, that is it. That is it. But that's a huge game tomorrow for Pittsburgh. But I'm rooting for the Islanders because I've been rooting for the Islanders, since before the playoffs started. I picked them to go to the conference final. Here comes Carolina trying to get one last push here. They don't get it. They can't maintain possession, and the puck goes to the neutral zone. That is the end of the second period, and we have a 2-2 tie at the end of the second period. So this all of a sudden now is a really, really good game and close game, and we this is a series here. So I'm moving the computer. To let it cool off for a bit here. Very warm. We've got intermission here, so we got 18 minutes. I'll try and see. So 10 minutes is 5:08 plus another 10. So the second period will start, or the third period will start at about 5:15 Eastern time. Until then, I'm going to switch it back to golf since there's no other hockey on right now. Watch some of the Masters and talk to you guys in the chat. So we can talk about whatever. I'm just going to watch some golf for about 15 minutes and chat it up. There's that shot from Oosthuizen, goes a little long. Better than putting it in the water, though. While we're at intermission, I just want to say that if you're not yet a subscriber to this channel, so please hit that subscribe button. And also, if you haven't already, give this a thumbs up and hit that like button. That really helps out with the channel and YouTube and stuff. So that's awesome. Yeah, I do hockey content. I do live streams. I do recorded content. On topics from across the NHL. It doesn't matter what team you're a fan of. There'll be videos here for you. So, hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Thank you guys so much for watching and all your support. And we have a great third period coming up here between between Carolina and Washington. A 2-2 game headed to the third. This would be big. If Carolina can steal this game, this could be big. Hey, what's up, Nolan? Oh, your phone's about to die. That's okay. It's all good, man. No problem. Thanks for stopping in, giving me the view. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button before you go, just to give me the like. And it's nice that you're here, Nolan. Yeah, NHL Studios. I agree. That call on Ferland was garbage. That to me shouldn't have even been a penalty. Never mind a major. There was nothing there that made that a major penalty. At most, it should have been a 2-minute minor, but that I think was an absolute garbage call. So yeah, Derek, that's the one thing. The one thing that is holding me back from really eviscerating the Lightning and calling this series over is the fact that Columbus did the same thing last year. Columbus in the first round went into Washington last year, took a 2-0 lead in Washington, and then proceeded to lose 4 straight, including 3 of those games on home ice, and end up losing in 6 to the Capitals. So Columbus has not won that series yet. Absolutely not. Are they off to a great start? 100%. Are the Lightning off to a terrible start? 100%. But that series is not over, as Tiger Woods makes a nice birdie there to get to 9 under, and he is tied for second, only 2 shots off the lead. I'll tell you, having Tiger Woods back in contention at the Masters is incredible. Yeah, me too, Vaughn. I'd love to see Tiger win it. Wow, Ricky, nice. Ricky with a really good day today. He's made the move to 8 under. Out of the bunker there. That's a makeable putt for him. I'll tell you, Ricky at 8 under is in the mix now as well. Yes, Nolan, thank you for smashing that button. Thank you. So while we're in intermission here, let's kind of take a look around the league at where we're at. So with all of these playoff series, as we have a lot of teams got their games 2 done last night, while we have more games 2 tonight. We have Nashville and Dallas still coming, Boston, Toronto, and Calgary, Colorado. Oh, Ricky drops a shot there. That's okay. He's still 7 under. Only 4 shots back with a whole day to go. That's not terrible. So this game right now, we have Capitals and Hurricanes. Caps lead the series 1-0. Game is tied 2-2 heading into the third period. Islanders last night took a 2-0 series lead on the Penguins, which I was very happy to see. And game 3 is tomorrow at noontime on NBC. And that will be the game tomorrow that I'm streaming during. And am excited for that game. That's been a really fun series to watch. And it's going well for me because I picked the Islanders to win. Bruins and Maple Leafs have game 2 at 8 o'clock tonight. That's a huge game for Boston, a must-win game for Boston after they didn't even show up to game 1. So I'll obviously be watching that one. And then out west tonight, we have Calgary and Colorado. I watched game 1 of that series. That was a very fun one to watch. So I'll be watching that one tonight. I don't know if I'll be able to stay up for the whole thing, but hopefully I'm able to. And hopefully it's just as good of a game to watch it tonight. Flames won 4-0 in the first game and lead the series 1-0. Let's see. As I said, tomorrow we have Islanders and Penguins. We also have the Lightning and Blue Jackets game 3 tomorrow. A must-win game for the Tampa Bay Lightning tomorrow. They cannot go down 3-0. That game's at 7 o'clock. And they'll be without their best player, Nikita Kucherov, their leading scorer, the NHL MVP this year, in my opinion. is suspended for one game for a really, really stupid hit on Marcus Nudavara in last night's game. So, the Lightning are without their best scorer for their most important game of the season tomorrow. See what else. Tomorrow at 7:30, we have the Jets and Blues. That game is headed back to St. Louis with a 2-0 lead for St. Louis. So St. Louis goes into Winnipeg, wins both games on the road. That puts the Jets in very, very bad spot. They're in the same situation as Tampa Bay, really. They're in a must-win game tomorrow. Tonight, the Stars and Predators play. I haven't seen any of that series yet. I didn't see game one at all. So I should be able to watch probably the first two periods of that game tonight before Boston and Toronto starts. And then I'll obviously be watching Boston and Toronto. But I should be able to see the first two periods of Stars and Predators. And that'll be the first I'm seeing of those teams in these playoffs. And the first I've seen of Dallas in a long time. I don't think I've seen a Dallas Stars game in months. And last but not least, last night we had Vegas tie the series up with San Jose. That's tied 1-1. Game 3 is tomorrow night at 10, and I'll be trying to watch that one as well, even though it's on late at night. That game was really, really fun to watch last night. Was a really great matchup and really heated contest. A lot of scoring, just a great playoff game to watch between the Sharks and Golden Knights. And that's one of my top series watching the rest of this round. Things are getting nasty. Things are very heated between the teams, and it's just really fun hockey to watch. A lot of goals both ways. So that's where we're at around the league. And what's going on, THG? Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Yeah, well, I mean, Kucherov, the Lightning in general weren't doing much the last, 2 games, but Kucherov still is a huge loss for Tampa Bay to not have him in their most important game of the year. And yeah, Vaughn, I guess the dates just matched up a little differently this year. But it's good to watch. I watch quite a bit of golf personally, but obviously when playoff hockey is on, that's number one. But I'll always switch over when I get the chance. I also, in my predictions, have a Tampa Bay New York Islanders Eastern Conference Final this year, but we'll see. With Tampa Bay, we'll see. They're a very talented team. It's hard to count them out until they have lost 4 games, but we'll see. The Islanders, on the other hand, have got off to a very, very good start in these playoffs. 2 wins on home ice against Pittsburgh. They've taken care of business so far. Now they just need to go into Pittsburgh and just steal 1 game. Just take 1 game. You don't have to go into it with the mindset of we need to end this in Pittsburgh. That's not the case at all. Go in and just take 1 game. Head back to Nassau at a 3-1 series lead, and the Isles will be in very good shape. The Islanders-Penguins series so far has been awesome. One of the best series of the playoffs so far. I would say my favorite series so far have been my top 3 have been Islanders and Penguins, Vegas and San Jose, and Calgary and Colorado have been my 3 favorite series to watch so far. Obviously, we haven't had game 2s yet for Boston and Toronto, so they could move up there. Calgary and Colorado, if game 2 isn't as good as game 1, could drop down the list. But Penguins and Isles are near the top of my list as far as most entertaining and best playoff series to watch for me so far. I'm a little sad I didn't get to see the game last night, but I was at a hockey game, so I mean that's a little bit better. But Game one between those two was awesome, and game three tomorrow I think is going to be really, really good. And that is a series that is really building up some animosity, much like Vegas and San Jose, much like Calgary and Colorado. So anytime the anger factor and the hatred factor go up in a series, it's all for the better. And the more physicality, the more scrums, the more fights, the better. So we should be getting back to third period action here. Games at intermission right now. It's 2-2. The Hurricanes tied it up in the second period there. And we have a 2-2 game heading into the third. Action should resume in about 5 minutes or so. We'll see if Carolina can take this game and come out of Washington with a 1-1 series tie. I think that is certainly a win for the Hurricanes. No, the Providence Bruins did not win last night. They actually played just about as bad as the Boston Bruins in game one, and Providence were down 4-0. They decided to start playing once they were down 4-0 and came back to make it 4-3, but they ended up losing 4-3 in regulation, and overall it was a very, very lousy game, much like Boston, which is why I drank pink lemonade this afternoon because Boston played like pink princesses in game one on Thursday night. And I'll tell you, they better not pull that crap again tonight, or they're going to be out of the playoffs very quickly. Yeah, I know what you meant. Yeah. I know what you meant, THG. I gotcha. So, yeah, see, I also am not wearing any Bruins stuff right now and will not during the game tonight. I wore a Bruins sweatshirt during game one and they lost, so obviously that is bad luck. So I will not be wearing any Bruins stuff tonight during the game because when I wear Bruins stuff, apparently they lose. So we'll see if changing up the wardrobe has any effect or change in luck in this series. Yeah, I've been impressed with this Capitals Hurricane series. This was near the bottom of my list as far as series I wanted to watch in the playoffs in the first round, but I've been impressed. I saw little bits of game one and it seemed action packed and a lot of fun. And this game today, I've watched the whole thing and it's been phenomenal. Big hits on both sides. It's a shame the refs blew it on the Ferland call. He should not have been ejected from the game. That was shouldn't have even been a penalty in my book. But big hits on both sides, a lot of action, a lot of high pace back and forth. This has been a really good game so far, and this series has been a lot better than I expected as far as how exciting it's been. So we'll see if Carolina can pull off the the win here in Washington and head back 1-1. That'd be certainly a win for them. When you're the road team in the playoffs, your goal is not to go into the other team's arena and take both games. If you can do that, obviously that's awesome and you want to do that. But that's never the goal. You should always feel good about yourself coming out of the opponent's first two road games. You should always feel good about yourself coming out of it 1-1. If you just go in there and steal a game, you're in very good shape. If you take both, then that's just an added bonus at that point. So as these last few commercials here wind up, when they come back, it should be time to drop the puck for the third period. And big third period here. I mean, this is playoff hockey. Um, Tie game, close game. You never games in the playoffs more often than not are close. You do get the occasional blowout, and that's usually when games really get nasty and the hatred and the message sending really picks up between teams. Is when you get that 5-1 game and you get that 4-0 or 4-1 type game. But a majority of the games are usually close in the playoffs, and this one is certainly no exception. Um, and we'll see how this ends. But I think there's a very, very good chance of this game, no matter who wins it, being a 1-goal game when it ends for sure. Am I becoming a closet Islander fan? Honestly, maybe. Islanders, I think, are climbing the ranks as far as teams outside of Boston that I really like. I think that they are certainly climbing the list. I really like this Islanders team. I like the way they play. They're very physical. They play my kind of hockey, and they're winning doing it, which is great to see. So we're back now for the start of the third period. The puck has just been dropped, and this is a big period for both of these teams. This is a great opportunity for Carolina to steal a win on the road, and this is an important game for Washington to make sure that they take care of business and come out of their first two home games with a 2-0 series lead. Bad turnover there that turned into a great chance for Jacob Slavin, and Holtby has to come up with a big glove save. Yes, Derek, I do follow baseball enough to know that the Rays are off to a tremendous start in the AL East and have a pretty sizable lead there. Yeah, Vaughn, I'm a fan of the Islanders and their team this year. So 2-2, still obviously no goals yet in the third, and we'll see what kind of action unfolds here. But this is certainly a big game. So right now we just have a board battle. We've got 3 guys from each team working along the wall, and Washington is able to move the puck out of their zone, and now they get in on the forecheck themselves, and they're in the offensive zone. Here's Nick Dowd with a shot, and the puck goes wide. I believe that shot was deflected, but Washington retains possession. Another shot wide. Washington has missed a lot of nets today, as has Carolina, quite honestly. There's been a lot of chances that have just turned into missed nets. And Washington now swarming in the offensive zone with possession and shots. Another shot that goes wide. And now that's a big save by Peter Mrazek there. Yeah, I'm also very much not a Vancouver fan for sure. That mostly stems from even though almost none of these players are even left in Boston or Vancouver, this stems from the 2011 final, obviously. But I certainly absolutely hated Vancouver back then, and even now they are one of my least favorite teams. I am not a fan of the Canucks, to say the least. There are a lot of teams that I like better. So Carolina dumps the puck in, but and bad turnover again there by Washington. Luckily, Carolina was not able to really do anything with it, and now Washington comes back the other way. But some sloppy puck control in the offense or the defensive zone by the Capitals in the start this period in the first 2 minutes. Ooh. Yeah, I kind of want to see Arizona make the playoffs as well, but I'm glad Colorado got in. I do like Colorado, so I'm glad they got in. Um, one of my favorite, oh, big hit there by Oshie on Svechnikov as he came across the blue line, and now Oshie makes the shot block. But another chance for Carolina. Jeez, not great defensive zone play from the Capitals, but they are able to get the puck out and into the Carolina zone. But Carolina quickly able to exit the zone themselves. Pretty sloppy, choppy start for both teams in this third period. Very sloppy. My top three favorite Bruins on the current team. Well, Patrice Bergeron. Um, I don't know. There's a lot of guys that I like. There's a few that I really don't, but there's a lot that I like. I'd say Patrice Bergeron is certainly number one. Zdeno Chara, just franchise savior. Um, such an important part of Boston going from a last place team to being good again. And outside of after that, I'd probably have to say it's either Kevin Miller because he's so tough, and I mean he is the exact kind of player that I love, and just think that hockey players, especially third pair defensemen, should be, um, or Nola Chari because he's a local kid from Rhode Island, from Johnston, and just went to Province College. Great to see him in the NHL playing for the Bruins. And he's a tough kid. He throws some big hits. He's willing to fight. So it's kind of a tie between Achari and Miller for third place. But Bergeron and Chara are definitely my favorite too. Thank you, Danny. You as well. So far, so good. This has been a pretty fun game to watch, and Carolina has a chance here to steal a big win in Washington. And then obviously, we got a lot more hockey coming up tonight with Nashville and Dallas, Boston and Toronto, Calgary and Colorado. So I'll be watching hockey probably for the next, what is it, 5:30-ish now, probably until 1:30 this morning or somewhere around there, assuming I can stay up. So the puck is now pinned along the wall behind Carolina's net, and this puck is not moving. And they're just letting them go. The ref's not blowing the whistle. Someone's got to dig this out. And finally, Carolina digs the puck out, and now they head back the other way, 3-on-2. Nobody got back for Washington. It's a 3-on-2 for Carolina. And a grade A opportunity. Huge save by Holtby, and then the second chance went wide. Wow, Carolina really would have loved that one. Wow, that was so close. Oh, Tampa is in trouble. I'm not calling them dead yet because Columbus did the same thing last year. Columbus last year had a 2-0 lead on Washington, won both games in Washington, and then lost 4 straight. So Tampa is not done yet. I mean, Columbus could easily do the same thing again, but Tampa is in trouble. They're in trouble. They really can't afford to lose another game. Uh, Dude, I'm from Massachusetts. Of course, I go to Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, I don't go to all the time or a lot or anything, but if I go to a coffee place, I go to Dunkin' Donuts, of course. Oh, great. Oh, how did he miss that? Great backhand chance there for Svechnikov, who just took the puck to the net, but somehow I think he ended up backhanding it wide over the net. Svechnikov just launched that backhand way too high. That was a grade A chance again for Carolina. Yeah, I guess they just wanted to rebrand or something. I don't know. Who doesn't matter to me. I still know what everyone means. I honestly, THG, could not tell you the name of the commentator that's doing the game on NBC right now. I literally have no clue who this guy is. He obviously Pierre is inside the glass between the benches, but this guy actually calling play by play, I don't know who it is. So I don't know. I guess he's okay. He hasn't done anything, to make me hate him, but he's certainly not standing out as a great commentator either. Certainly not one of the recognizable voices that I like to listen to, the way that, Kenny Albert or Doc or, you know, some of those guys are. Um, no, Nolan, I have never been to Tim Hortons. I've never been to Canada, so they don't really have many Tim Hortons down here. What team picks? I'm not sure. Probably whoever picks second. Um, but I don't know. I don't know much about the prospects other than Jack Hughes. I really don't know. Yeah, Nolan, I know that they have some, but there's not many, and I don't think there's any around me, anywhere no close to me. So I've never been. Um, Doc, I don't know. Doc probably will be calling Bruins Leafs, although I'm not sure of that. Well, I guess we'll find out later tonight. Oh, so this is the Islanders play-by-play guy doing the call. Then why isn't he doing the Islanders series? Oh, you know what? Doc, I bet you Doc calls the Penguins Islanders game tomorrow. I bet you Doc doesn't call Bruins lead. I honestly I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass a bit here. I have no idea what the commentator schedule is or who's assigned to what series. But generally Doc does the big NBC afternoon game, which is tomorrow. It's Pittsburgh. So we'll see. And that's offsides. Washington brought that in over the line offsides. And we're already down. Wow, the first part of this period, I think, has gone by really fast. We're already down to 12 minutes left in the period. And no goals yet. A lot of great chances, especially for Carolina. But no goals yet in this period. So it's still 2-2. Hey, there you go, Rob. Sounds good. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So that does make sense then, THG. Um, yes, one, it's really sad that Bob Cole is retired. And two, really wish I got to hear him more. I mean, obviously, in the U.S., you don't get to hear the Canadian broadcasts at all. The only time I get to hear Bob Cole is, you know, on the highlights when it's, using his call on a highlight package from the game. But he had such a great voice, absolute legend in broadcasting is Bob Cole. I wish I got to hear him more. So Washington's been kind of sitting back in this period and has not gotten much going offensively. Carolina's had some grade A chances in this period that they just haven't been able to score on. And this game is still tied. But Washington needs to really get the forecheck going and get the offense going. So under 12 minutes now. And Washington with the puck in the offensive zone with possession, cycling, and they end up giving it away. But Carolina is unable to clear. See, those are the kinds of things that really can come back to haunt you in a playoff series, especially when you're the underdog against a better team. When you get the chance to get the puck out of the zone, you've got to get it out. When you get the chance to score a goal, you've got to capitalize on that, because if you don't, the better team is going to end up winning. So here comes Washington now, 3-on-3 into the zone. Ovechkin, as the defenseman, makes it 4-on-3, and it's a goal. Tom Wilson with the goal for the Capitals. Pittsburgh fans are probably puking right now, and Capitals take a 3-2 lead. Wow. So it was a 3-man rush that turned into a 4-man rush with Wilson jumping up into the play, and he just fires a shot by Peter Mrazek there. Absolute rocket, glove side, short side, and that is without a doubt a great goal and a great shot from Tom Wilson. And wow, what a shot. Yeah, Dave Strader was really good, but then he got sick, and we all know what happened there. So we don't really hear Dave Strader much anymore, but unless you're in Dallas. But he was a very good commentator. He is a very good commentator. I think the Islanders are going to the conference final. Well, I picked the Islanders to go to the conference final, but they'd have to get by not only Pittsburgh, which they're off to a good start. They then have to beat Washington, which is definitely going to be tough. But I think out of those teams, out of Columbus, New York, or Carolina, I think New York has the best chance of going to the conference final. Yeah, unfortunately, THG. But the Capitals now seem to have the momentum after that goal. They got the puck back into the offensive zone now, as Carolina does get the clear. 10 minutes remaining in the third period. Capitals take the lead, and Brooks Orpik and somebody is having a nice little stick joust there. And the Capitals end up clearing the zone. And Caps got their fourth line on the ice, but here's another opportunity. Big save. Big save from Peter Mrazek there. And now here comes Carolina 4-on-3 back up the ice. Nino Niederreiter from the high slot cannot get the shot through as it gets blocked. And now the Capitals clear once again. That's going to be icing, though, on Washington. And with 9:06 remaining in the period, Washington just iced the puck. Oh, Joe Buck is awful. Absolutely awful. So Carolina obviously knows that they needed a goal here. They've got to score. They know that they're down in the final 10 minutes. So they're kind of up against the clock here. It's certainly not, panic time or anything. 8.5 minutes is a long time in hockey. Oh, that shot just went wide for Washington. Washington almost had 4-2 there. But, 8.5 minutes is plenty of time to get a goal if you only need one goal. However, there needs to be some form of urgency here because it's not just going to happen. Hey, Sal's in the chat, my buddy Sal, who runs the channel Behind the Arc Basketball. If you're interested in basketball, college or NBA, be sure to give his channel a sub. He does some great play-by-play calls of basketball games. And yeah, Joe Buck is terrible. Mitchell, Mitchell, Mitchell down to the 25. Absolutely no emotion in his voice as there's a huge run back on the kick return. Yeah, I can't stand Joe Buck. But if you're a fan of basketball, be sure to hop over and see Behind the Arc Basketball's channel. What's going on, Sal? Thanks for stopping in. Got some good hockey going on here, and lots of good hockey going on all night tonight. Going to be another late one for me as I try and stay up for the Calgary, Colorado game later. Yep. Lots of late nights during the NHL playoffs with those West Coast games not starting until 10 or 10:30 at night. There are lots of late nights during the playoffs, but it's the best time of year. The NHL playoffs are the absolute greatest thing in all of sports. And yeah, it's certainly worth it to lose a little bit of sleep. Is Tampa built for the playoffs? Apparently not. I thought they were a team that going into the playoffs were relatively, decent for playoff style hockey, but man, they've been off to such a terrible start. We'll see. Am I gonna live stream the draft if I'm around that night? I know that I did that last year during last year's draft. I live streamed during the first round. So I may do that again, but if I have something else that night, then I probably won't. That's something I would do if I'm just not doing anything else. Ovechkin gets by the defense there, however, is not going to win the race to the puck down in Carolina's end. But he hammers. I think that was Svechnikov along the boards. Hamilton, Ovechkin just pokes the puck by Hamilton. Then Ovechkin goes in, bangs Svechnikov along the wall, and ends up getting an offensive zone faceoff out of it after Mrazek is forced to cover. Hey, Aaron, what's going on? Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Vaughn, yeah, I do like Jim Nantz. I think he does a pretty good job, especially with football. Hey, Fire Strike, no problem. What's going on, man? Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. So we're down under 8 minutes now. Carolina's down 3-2. They need a goal and they know it. Washington's honestly Carolina had a very, very good start to this period, first couple of minutes. But since then, Washington's really played better and taken over. And obviously, they scored the goal to take the lead. Nothing happened to Pittsburgh. This is exactly what I expected with the Penguins. I've been saying this all year, that the Penguins are not that good. They're not as good as people think they are, and they're showing it in the playoffs. This Penguins team is not nearly as good as they have been in the past. I picked them to be out in the first round, and I think they're going to be out in the first round. All the Penguins fans not all, a lot of Penguins fans have been giving me a lot of crap all season long because I'm so down on the Penguins this year, but I think you're finally seeing why, because this is exactly what I expected the Penguins to do. We'll see. Tomorrow's a must win for them. I think they probably do win tomorrow, getting back on home ice. Getting back onto home ice and in a high pressure situation. I think the Penguins probably do win tomorrow, but it's a must win for them. If they go down 3-0 to the Islanders, I mean, they're done. That's it. They're not going to win 4 straight against New York. So that's going to be a really, really fun game tomorrow. And no, Tampa is not winning. They are not doing well at all. Yeah, see, this Penguins team does kind of remind me of those teams between the cups that were like, yeah, they were kind of, some of them were better than others. They were all, playoff teams, but some, there's to me a difference between the Pittsburgh Penguins who can go to a conference final or even go to a Stanley Cup. And then there's the Penguins teams who are going to be out in one of the first 2 rounds. And I think back to the year that the Penguins lost in the first round to the New York Rangers. I forget what year that was. It had to be around 2013 or 14 or something like that when they lost to the Rangers in the first round. But this Penguins team reminds me a lot of that was 2015. Okay. This Penguins team reminds me a lot of that team. Yeah, Tampa could quickly be out here if they don't get it together quick. Yeah, Penguins are very inconsistent. There are times they look like an absolute cup contender and maybe a cup favorite. And then there are times where this Pittsburgh team looks like they don't even belong in the playoffs. And it's a mixed bag with this team, and they're very inconsistent. Big shot there from Jordan Staal that goes high. Yeah, Penguins did almost miss the playoffs that year. I don't watch. I don't watch the NBA at all, so it doesn't matter to me that the NBA playoffs are on. And we got a penalty coming up against Washington here. We got a high sticking call coming up against Washington. So with just over 5 minutes left, Carolina is going to get a power play opportunity here as they go off sides on zone entry. The Canes are going to the power play. Wow. So they get the high sticking call against Washington, and the Canes get a power play left. Really a must-score power play for them. Down a goal with 5 minutes left in the game. Oof, are the Leafs better than Pittsburgh? That's a tough one. I would say those are 2 very even teams. I would say maybe slight edge to the Leafs. No, it's not that I don't like the Celtics. I just don't care about basketball. I don't follow basketball at all. I don't watch any basketball. I, I mean NBA. I don't watch the league at all. So I just don't care. I mean, the Celtics sucked this year. They were supposed to be like the best team in the East. Aren't they like a 5 seed or something? Like they sucked this year. Yeah, no, the NBA. I think the NBA is a joke of a league. I absolutely hate it. All the good players are on like 4 different teams, and the rest of the league just sucks. And yeah, I just hate the NBA. It's garbage. The, probably my least favorite sport. I would watch baseball over it. I watch NASCAR over it. I watch golf over it. NBA basketball is probably my least favorite sport. No, the NHL would be atrocious like that. The best thing about about the NHL is that it's so spread out and there's so much parity. The games mean a lot because teams are in the playoff hunt until literally the last couple weeks of the season. If the NHL was like the NBA, I would probably stop watching. And hockey's been my favorite sport my whole life. If it was like the NBA, I would stop watching. The NBA is garbage. Nice save there by Holtby on the power play. Yeah, sports need parity. Not all your good players on one team. That's trash. If the NHL was ever like that, I would not be the only one who stopped watching, and I would absolutely just not care about the league anymore at all. Oh, Washington's way better than Pittsburgh. I don't even think that's close this year. This year's Washington team is way better than this year's Pittsburgh team. Score! Carolina ties it on the power play. Shot from the point, and we have a 3-3 tie game. Exactly 5 minutes left in the third, and we now have a tie game. Hamilton with a shot from the point, and Jordan Staal gets the redirection in front. And we now have a tie game. So Carolina, big goal there on what I called a must-score power play. They do score on it, and now with 5 minutes left, we're basically in next goal wins time now. With so little time left, I would say that the next goal to be scored probably wins this game. And that's a pass in front for Washington, but it skips over Orlov's stick and goes all the way down. Washington retains possession and now is trying to get in on the forecheck here in the offensive zone. Quick exit, though, for the Hurricanes. Save Holtby there to get a whistle. What a tip from Jordan Staal. What should Pittsburgh do in the offseason? Well, improve their defense should be step one. And I also think they could use a power forward. They could really use a power forward, somebody who can hit, somebody who can fight, and somebody who can give you, 20 to 25 goals on top of that and play in a top six scoring role as well. There aren't many of those guys left in the league, but they need some form of power forward in Pittsburgh. But their first priority should be that defense. That defense has a lot of holes in it. So Washington with control in the neutral zone here as they dump the puck in. Backstrom now with a shot that gets blocked, and Mrazek's able to get the cover. So 3.5 minutes, 3:32 left in the third period. Tie game now. And I think that there is a very good chance that this one's going to overtime. Is Carolina better than Pittsburgh? Probably not, but it's close. Carolina had a very good year this year, so it's close. And that's offsides on Washington entering the zone. It's all good, Gabriel. No problem. So this looks like it's going to go to overtime, although 3.5 minutes is quite a long time. Certainly enough for one team to score a goal. But I think both teams at this point are probably going to bear down defensively, try and just not give anything up. And it's likely that we see overtime on the way here. Yes, I am streaming Pittsburgh and New York tomorrow at noontime. I think Chicago is still a year or two away from contending again. I don't think they're going to do it next year. I think they are going to need a little bit longer before they're back at the level, where they're thought of as a Stanley Cup contender. So here comes Washington now out of their own end, 3-on-2 back the other way. However, good back check from Carolina. Washington still retains possession in the offensive zone, however. Huge save from Mrazek on a screen shot and a tip in front, and Mrazek somehow sees it through the traffic and makes the save. That is huge. It gets deflected in front, and then Backstrom's right there to take a whack at it, and Mrazek stands tall. Wow. Huge, huge save from Mrazek there. That could have very easily been a Capitals lead. Who is the most underrated player in the NHL? That's a tough question. I've been saying Mark Scheifele for years, but I think Mark Scheifele finally is recognized as the great player that he is. So that's something I'd really have to do some research into and think long and hard about, because Scheifele's probably not the pick anymore. So I'm not entirely sure. Flames or San Jose better? Neither team I trust. Yeah, I think Alexander Barkov's probably a good choice for that. I don't trust either the Flames or San Jose in the playoffs. I think in the regular season, the Flames were clearly the better team. And they scored, they obviously ended in first place with more points than sorry, I just completely lost my train of thought. The Flames ended up with more points than the Sharks, but I don't trust either team to go in the playoffs that much, but I do think that the Flames have been better this year. I have the Sharks winning in 7, but I am already kind of regretting that. I should have known right away. As soon as I picked the Sharks to go to the conference final, I should have said, wait a second. But my pick was San Jose, although now I probably think Vegas has the better shot of doing it. Barkov is recognizable, but not to the level that he should be. He's not a superstar yet, and he is a superstar on the ice. Vegas is still very, very good. And Vegas just went into the Shark Tank last night and won. So, Vegas's top 6 is incredible. And I think Vegas could easily win this series against San Jose. They've already won a game on the road. So why can't they take care of business at home and then take care of the Sharks? So final minute now of the third period. Again, 3-3 tie. A lot of action. I picked Washington to win this series, but I hope Carolina wins this game. We have a whistle. I'm not sure what for. This really, really, another huge save from Mrazek there on Tom Wilson that they're showing. But this absolutely, I think, is going to overtime. No, I don't watch the MLS. I don't really watch soccer at all. I'm not interested in soccer. Yeah, Mrazek has been phenomenal in goal. Mrazek has been phenomenal in goal tonight for Carolina. And the only reason that this is a tie game right now is really the goaltending for both sides, as both goalies have been great today. No, I don't like soccer at all. Oh, Letang. Letang's way better. Dougie Hamilton is not that good. And that's offsides, I believe, on Washington. Yes. No, I'd take Letang over Hamilton for sure. Yeah, soccer is a sport for people who like wimpy sports or non-contact sports, and that's no, I can't. I don't watch soccer. The final 20 seconds here. I think we're going to get to see another OT game. Surprisingly, would only be the second overtime game of the playoffs so far. Usually, it's overtime after overtime, but that hasn't been the case so far these playoffs. But this is going to be, the capital. John Carlson just could have ended that game with a second left, and Prita Mrazek with another stellar save. So we're going to overtime. Tied 3-3. So I can't. Huge save by Mrazek there as the time expired because John Carlson almost just ended that. And we now have a full intermission. And again, so now overtime will commence at about 6:15 Eastern time. And the Dallas and Nashville game is starting up right about now. So we'll see how that game goes. I'm switching over to that now for a few minutes while this one's at intermission, and then I will obviously be back for overtime without a doubt. Do I agree that Mrazek is better than McElhaney? Yes. Both had great years this year. I'm going to move the computer again for this intermission. Both had great years this year, but Mrazek is better than Curtis McElhaney. And that's why Mrazek is a starter for the playoffs. But both played very well this year. So it's time for our overtime challenge on Twitter here. So who do we think is going to who do we think's going to score the OT goals in this overtime? Let's see. I'm trying to think here. What channel is it on? It's on NBC. It's on national TV today, NBC. Gabriel, originally no, but after seeing game one, now it's yes. So let's see. For the Capitals, who's going to score for the Capitals if they win it? I think if the Capitals, yeah, I think Tom Wilson is going to be my pick for the Capitals. And for I don't know. You know what? How about it's not Game 7? I was gonna say Justin Williams for the Hurricanes, but it's not Game 7. So let's see who for. It could. Svechnikov maybe Teravainen. There aren't. There's not a ton of huge offensive names for Carolina. Yeah, I think Svechnikov might be the guy. So I'm going to go with Tom Wilson. If the Capitals win, Tom Wilson will be the guy that scored the goal. if Carolina wins, it's going to be Andrei Svechnikov with the game winner. Those are my picks for the overtime challenge. And only the second overtime of the NHL playoffs so far this year. So that is a little bit surprising, just given, historically there's usually lots of overtimes. And this year's been a little lighter on the OT action, but that's all right. We just got more games ending in regulation. Do I think Colorado will bounce back tonight? I think I see the Flames winning both games. Um, in Colorado, I do. I think, or in Calgary. I mean, I think the Flames win both games in Calgary, and then we'll see what happens when it gets back to Colorado. Hey, welcome back, TTC. We've got overtime coming up. Very possible, Derek. The wouldn't be the first time that Columbus took. I mean, we all know. I've been talking about this all day. We all know what Columbus did last year, blowing the lead to Washington. So there's no reason that the same thing can't happen. Hey, TTC, what'd you get? You get your usual vodka for the game tonight? Really? You think Winnipeg comes back? That would be quite the comeback if they do. Yeah, TTC's got his vodka ready. Should be a fun one tonight, hopefully. The longest overtime playoff game, I'm not sure. I think 5 overtimes. I think it went to a 5th overtime, but I'm not 100% positive on that. So, but that's my guess. 6 OTs is the longest. Okay, that must have been a wild and long, long game. True, true. That is very true. Columbus, you know, though the games haven't been as close as they were last year. You're right. Columbus has really taken it to um, Columbus has really taken it to Tampa Bay, all except for the first period of the series. Tampa dominated the first period, but then it's been all Columbus the last 5 out of 6 periods. So for a game and a half out of 2 games, Columbus has been dominating. Yeah, 6 overtimes is a lot. That is a very, very long game. Yeah, there are a lot of commercials for sure. But intermission's 18 minutes, so they have to fill the time somehow. Scott Darling, is playing in the AHL, I believe. He obviously really struggled as a starter in Carolina. and I believe he's been sent to Charlotte and is the goalie for the Charlotte Checkers in the AHL. Mrazek and McElhaney have taken over the net up in Carolina. Yeah, no, it did not work out. Yeah, I'm also really waiting for overtime to start as well. It takes an awful long time for these intermissions. Last night I was at the Province Bruins game. Yeah, 4 overtime game back in 2008, but that's definitely not the longest ever. The best teams in the AHL. I know that Charlotte is, I think, the best team in the East. I'm not sure. I don't follow the Western Conference at all, so I don't know. Um, but Charlotte was the best team in the East. Do I think Nashville won the Subban trade? I mean, I think it's. I don't know. It's hard to say. There's no clear cut like, wow, this guy's been way better than the other, and the other guy's been terrible. So, I think it's helped both teams in a way. Can UMass pull off the upset tonight? As long as UMass has Cale Makar in their lineup, UMass can pull off the upset tonight. Cale Makar is an electric elite player. And if he's on the ice, he can make things happen. And any team with him in the lineup has a chance to win. This game is on NBC. It's on national TV for everybody in the U.S. So it should be easy to find. Kuznetsov and Svechnikov for goals. I went with Tom Wilson and Svechnikov for goals. Yeah, my can's gone, TTC. What changed with Carolina? Well, their coach, first of all, Rod Brendamore, has done a great job with this team. They added some toughness with Michael Furland. I think that's been a big help. They were one of the softest teams in the league for years. Adding Michael Furland to come in and throw his weight around and fight has been a big help. And they've just played better. The young guys are another year older. They've just played really, really good. Last year they did not. There were high expectations for them last year, and that seemed to have put too much pressure on them. Going into this year, the expectations were backed way off, and now they're a playoff team for the first time in 10 years. So I think coaching, I think adding toughness, and just the young players being another year older has all helped Carolina. Not to mention the great goaltending they've gotten from Mrazek and McElhaney, which they didn't get from Darling last year. Goaltending's a huge difference. Yeah, they play that ad all the time. Yeah, McElhaney was the Maple Leafs backup for a little while there, but not no. He's gone on to Carolina now, and he's played very, very well in Carolina. He's found a home there. Tell you, Mrazek has played great as well, and Mrazek has had a phenomenal game tonight. Only reason that Carolina is even going to overtime in this game. Yes, it is 3-3. Um, the other game going on, Dallas and Nashville, they're doing the national anthem now, and that game is about to start very shortly here. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you're outside, Derek. Yep. I can't believe it's already 90 down in Florida. That sucks. You guys get high temperatures way too much of the year for my liking. It's nice mid 60s here today in Massachusetts. Very nice temperature out. Welcome back, Firestrike. Welcome back. Glad to have you as I move the computer back for the start of overtime here. Um, we'll see who can get it done in overtime. I don't think there's any advantage necessarily to either team. I think it's just about who's going to make a play and score first. Who's going to make the play? Am I going to watch 20 overtimes if the game goes that far? Absolutely. However, I think there might be a time limit on streams on YouTube, or maybe that's Facebook Live. I'm not sure. But if there's a time limit, I might have to. If it went to 20 overtimes, I might have to make multiple streams to go that long. Upper 70s. That's nice weather there, Vaughn. So the Washington Capitals, this is edge of your seat stuff here. Washington has the puck early. They're in the neutral zone. They had some offensive pressure, but it got cleared back to center. So now they're in forechecking, trying to get the puck back. Wilson is out there for the Capitals, but they turn the puck over, and now Carolina dumps it in. Gets in on the forecheck where Washington takes it right back. And now here comes Tom Wilson into the zone, but clear for Carolina. Long range shot there for the Capitals that just goes wide on the far post. But Washington's definitely had the advantage for the first couple of minutes of this overtime. And now here comes Kuznetsov. Tried to pass it back to Oshie, but the pass doesn't make it through. And that shot goes well wide. Derek, that's great weather. And then the Capitals score. I don't know who it was. It was a shot from the point. Caps win 4-3. Huge win on home ice for the Capitals. Mrazek just got beat high under the bar. Was it Ovechkin? Orpik. It was Orpik. Brooks Orpik never scores. Wow, he never scores. What a time for Brooks Orpik to decide to score a goal. Unbelievable. What exactly happened here? I honestly was looking in the chat. Kuznetsov brings it in and then tries that back pass to Oshie that doesn't work. But Oshie keeps it in, and Niskanen just shoots it high. Oshie sends it back down. Line change going on for Washington, and Orpik just off the bench comes in on a beautiful pass from Kuznetsov and slaps it home. What a shot. Right down to the face-off dot, from the point down to the face-off dot, and Orpik just slaps that one top shelf. What a goal. Wow. So tomorrow, yes, tomorrow I am doing Pittsburgh and New York tomorrow afternoon at noontime, so that should be a really good one. And yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Orpik with the OT winner puts the Caps up 2-0 over Carolina. Take both games on home ice. I will continue to watch hockey tonight, but I'm done streaming for the day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you like and subscribe if you haven't already to the channel. I do streams like this as well as recorded content year-round. And playoff action is well underway. Another edge of your seat overtime game here. And Capitals walk away with a 4-3 win. So I'll see you guys at the next one, which next stream will be tomorrow afternoon at noontime. Penguins and Islanders. After that, probably not again until Wednesday. I'm going to take a couple days off because doing 4 streams in 5 days is very tiring. But I will continue to watch hockey, and we can talk in comment sections of videos if you want to talk about anything. But that's going to be it for this stream. I'm going to end it now. See you guys tomorrow, hopefully, or at whenever the next one you're available for. And playoff action continues. See you guys. Thank you.